Alright, so in this tutorial I will be talking about regular expression. Now, I think the problem that most people have with regular expression is that they look at guides on it and words, lectures. They don't really do the regular expression, and that's the problem I have with it, because you don't really understand as much unless you're doing it. And for that purpose, I was in the same boat, and I kept on trying to read up on stuff, find what the meaning is of all this words, because I used to read other people's regular expressions back when I was still learning. I used to read and try to figure out what it did, and I never fully understood. So, back when I was a less experienced scripter, I used to hang out a lot on RMRK. And on RMRK, we have a local scripter god, who I like to call him, named Modern Algebra. You may have heard of him before, but he doesn't script as much in RPG Maker VXA, so you might not have a script of his and you might have one. Yeah, so when I was talking to him, I asked him to show me regular expression, so I showed him some examples that I was looking at and I didn't know what they were. So he responded to me and he told me what things were, and I kind of understood it better because he could explain it to me well, but I still didn't understand fully. So after a certain point, he gave me a link to a website, and on this website it gives you, it's not really much of a lecture website, it's a website which has you doing regular expressions and it telling you what your current regular expression is getting you. So for that purpose, instead of a tutorial of me lecturing you on what stuff does, so to speak, I'm instead going to go to Rubula, the website that Modern Algebra linked me to, and I'm going to do regular expression stuff in there, so you can see how stuff works. And if you spend a day or two on there, just typing in random stuff, eventually you'll be able to understand all regular expression has to offer you, and you'll have no trouble with it whatsoever. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to open up Firefox here, and I'll just go to Google, and I'll go Rubula. Now, obviously, I've been there before, so it's got that little color coding stuff. This is Rubula. Now, this is your regular expression area where you're going to type in that random seeming stuff that I showed you in the last tutorial, which after this one you hopefully won't be so scared of. Okay? And this is what you're trying to match it with. So, let's have a quick look around the layout of this website. We first have our regular expression quick reference guide. Now, what this is, this stuff isn't actually set in stone, so to speak. It does exist, but it's not exactly telling you the, I'm trying to explain this well. Over here, where it has a question mark, it says 0 or more of A. That's not actually referring to a question mark is 0 or more of A. It's what you put in front of the question mark is what it's referring to. So over here it does a asterisk 0 or more of A. Same for here. What you want, if you put in C in front of the question mark here, it would instead be 0 or 1 of C instead of 0 or 1 of A. Okay, so that's just the differences I'm saying right now. So now I'm going to get into what all of these do. So over here I'm just going to put in random gibberish, like I like to do. And now over here, a single character of A, B, or C. That means if I insert this into here, it would only capture them, and I should not have spaces, because that won't work so well. Okay, now over here it says no matches, possibly because I don't have A, B, or C. So if I put Q here, there you go. Over here it has now captured every single Q, all of them. So if I go over here again, I go Q, P, K. It has now captured all the Q's, all the P's, and I don't think I've entered a K. For the K here, K. There you go, it's captured a K. So that's what this does. This literally says whatever is inside of this array thing. It's not necessarily an array inside of a regular expression, but that's what we should know at this point, so I'm going to call it that. You put whatever letters, I wonder if that works with numbers too, I'm not sure about that one. If I put in a number, Okay, it does. Okay, so whatever you put inside of the array bracket itself, it will capture as much of it as possible. Okay, so empty child class, like it says over there now, that means it's not capturing anything. So if I put in A, Y, D, L, J, see, it captures me J, and it would capture me the rest, but since I don't have any actual any of those other characters inside of this string, it's only capturing me J. Alright? So that might seem a little convoluted, but trust me, like I said before, if you just spend a day or two checking all this stuff out, you will understand it perfectly. Don't worry. Okay. Now, same thing goes for all this stuff down here. If you take a look at this, it's now saying it captured me every single letter except for the ones inside here. So if I just put in that sign, it has now captured me every single one of those letters except for J. Okay? See? So it's quite simple once you understand the concept behind it. So it says any single character except A, B, or C. And A, B, or C just means the 3 that's in here already. If you have more, it won't capture the other ones that are inside there as well. Okay? Now, these ones itself, you don't necessarily need to worry about this so much in RPG Maker, so I'm going to skip them. Although if you want to learn them, like I said, you can always do your testing for a couple days. Okay? So now we'll move on to any single character. Now, any single character means it will capture literally anything. Anything. So if I put a dot there, it's captured all of it. Okay? Now, I put a space there as well. Whee! Okay. Now, like I said, any single character. So that means it will capture you a letter, it will capture you a number, and I think it might capture you Unicode, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to test that now. Unicode, one. Alright, I apparently can't enter any Unicode, so yeah, sorry, right here. Silly. Nope, okay. So, Unicode doesn't work apparently. But it will capture you any letter and any number, and any whitespace. Whitespace is not considered a number or a letter, but it will capture that as well. Again, going down here. So, any whitespace character. Now, as you can see, I have a whitespace here now. So, if I get rid of that, and I go Q, it then gets me all that again. I then go \S. It now captures me the S, this section here. Now you may be wondering why, if I got rid of that, it captured me all of the Q. That's because it's actually testing the entire string itself. Now this will go into I will go into why this will be important to know later. The keyword for that would be identifier, and when I get into that, you will then realize why that's important. All right. So now if I put \S there, because like it says down here, this is any whitespace character. That means it now captures the Q and the space, and if I don't have the Q and the space, no matches. It can't find any Q and a space. So it's looking specifically here for a Q and a space, and we do not have a Q and a space. So if I was to have QP like I have here and then space, it won't capture it. But if I have Q and then a space, it captures the Q and the space. Okay? Now, same thing for down here where it says \S. Alright? Sorry, capital S. Capital S means a non-whitespace character. So if I just go, it has captured these ones because after the Q, it's not a whitespace. Alright, so if I put 1 here, it captures that as well because again, that is not a white space. So it does capture it. So, important note to keep in mind, lowercase s means it's looking for a white space. Capital S means it's looking for a non-white space. You know, a non-existing white space that's after this character. So right here, if I have Q, it doesn't capture it. And if I have S, it doesn't capture it either because that's the end of the line. Alright? Okay. Moving on to any digit. Now, this is something you will be using a lot. Okay? So if I put D here, it is now looking for a digit, and like I did before with Q and 1, it now finds Q and 1 because that is a digit. 1 is a digit. Okay? Alright, so likewise down here it says any digit. Alright, and here with the capital D, it's any non-digit, which means any letter underscore. Or Whitespace 2 should work as well. Yes, okay. So Whitespace does work with \D because it's, remember, it's searching for any non-digit. Alright, which includes space and letters. Okay, so that's what the \D is for. Now down here is, \W, any word character, which is a letter. So if I go here, W, okay, any word character meaning letter, number, underscore. Now, obviously a space, it doesn't appear in here, so that must mean that it doesn't consider a space to be a word character. But a letter, a number, and an underscore is. So if I put an underscore here, with no space, there you go, it now captures the Q and the underscore. Okay, same thing for this. If I get rid of that and put the space back in, and then I go W, it only captures the Q and the space now, because it's now looking for any non-word character. Alright, now, I'm not quite sure what \B is. I've never used it before. Oh, hey, it's the boundary. Okay. Oh, I know what that is now. So that basically that means capturing the final character in any string. That's what \B is. Capture the last letter inside of any word. Alright, so if I was to have multiple words here, like poke and man and stuff, that's because I'm looking for Q, by the way, so get rid of that. And there you go. So the last thing it finds is, the ending character segment after a word. Okay, so Q captures the Q. If I was to have F here, it would capture the stuff. If I was to have N here, it would capture the man, the final character of the man, and same for E, it would capture the word poke. Alright, so back to Q now. Moving on to this one. Now here's the stuff that you need to know. Capture everything enclosed. I'm going to skip that for now because that's important to know. That is important to know, so I'll get to that last. A or B. Now this is quite simple. Right here, as you've seen with the ABC stuff, where it captures all of the stuff inside of the brackets, this one gets you, does this exist or this exist? Because if it does, we can capture it. We can match this string. Okay, so we have here WPQ. So if I was to put in, as it says down here in the bracket stuff, if I was to put this here and I was to go, what is it? It is J and P. It now captures you all of P, J, and P. Captures you all of them. So it matches the P, the J, and all this stuff. So it's matching all of that. Alright, that's what it's finding for you. Because you're telling it one or the other. Alright, go down. Alright, the A and the question mark. Alright, so as I was saying before, this means one or more of. Alright, so it has captured the Q. It is then, because you can see it has spaces afterwards, it is now saying, sorry, 0 or 1 of a Q. So it does match everything unless it is, how do I explain this? Oh, okay, 0 or 1 of a Q. So there must be either no Qs or 1 Q. If there's any more than 1 Q, it doesn't match it, I think. So if I have 2 Qs here, alright, it does match that. That's fine. That's fine. Alright. Trying to explain this. Alright. I should start writing actual words. Alright, so I'm going to go actor command. I'm going to go that. which then finds me all the spaces in between every letter, because that is 0 A's, 0 capital A's. Okay? Alright. Like I said, it's one of those things where you get it after you've tested your own. Okay? Moving on to a Asterisk. Now, you would have seen this in the rigorous version I showed you in the last tutorial. This one means 0 or more of A, whereas this one goes 0 or 1 of A. So basically it searches up, it matches the string if you have as many of these as possible, so to speak. Alright? So if I was to have a star, it still captures the exact same. If I was to have A, captures all of that in the one string. Okay? So, going back to that. As you can see, when I have the question mark here, I think it captures me A plus a space. Okay? It's not capturing them as a single unit. Okay? Not a single unit, it's capturing them separately. That's what I was trying to explain before, but I couldn't really find the words. So it's capturing A separately if you're using the question mark. It only captures one of them per each, for every single A it finds. Otherwise, if you have a star here, it captures all of the A's here in the one section. It does think of this as one word, so to speak. Okay. Now for A plus. Okay, so if I use that, A plus, it does the exact same, but now no longer captures, you know, spaces in between itself and the next letter. Okay, because now with the space, now with the plus, you must have one or more of A. Or in this case, if I put C here, because like I was saying before, you know, C, it's now going C plus, so it means you must have at least one C for this to match anything. You can have more if you want, but you must have at least one. Alright, so that's what C plus is looking for. Alright, and what is next? We have A, exactly 3 of A. Okay, so match me 4 C's. Alright, and that's what it does. That's what it does exactly. It captures me 4 C's over here in a block. But see, because it goes over here now, and it only has 2 C's to select, so it can't capture me that. Same for over here, it only has 1 C, so it can't capture that for me. And that's why I did 4 here now. So if I have 2, you can now capture all of that, but it can't capture that because that's still the one single C. Okay? Now, same stuff for that. 3 or more of A. Alright. So going back to what I just said before, if I have 4, it can only capture 4 at a time. So if I have a comma there, it can now capture me all of them, but I must have at least 4 for it to capture any of them. So if I was to have 2 here now, it still captures the whole block for me, but still not this one because this one is single. If I have 1, it can now capture that one because that is 1, and it can capture me all these because that is still 1 or more of C. Okay, capital C, by the way, in case you were wondering why it's not capturing that. Because I have it here capital. If I have just regular C, it captures me that one. Okay? It is case sensitive. Alright. Alright, and this is the exact same as the above, except I want to have 3, between 3 and 6 of A. But instead of having 3 between 3 and 6, I want to have 2 and 4. Alright, it does the same as before. It captures 4 of them if it can. Otherwise, if it captures 2, it captures 2. So instead of that, I think I'll put 3 here. Alright, it can capture me up to a maximum of 4, but it can't capture these 2 because that's only 2, and it says between 3 or 4. And because that's only 2, that means it won't capture it because it's not between those values. Now, taking a look back down here, I did notice I skipped these, so I'm going to do them now. Okay? Now, this means capture me any single character between the range of A to Z. So do that, and we'll go A, and then we'll go Z. Close bracket. Alright? And the only reason it's not giving me the capital C is because, once again, I have done lowercase letters. Alright, that's between A to Z. It's capturing me every single letter between A to Z. So if I was to remove the Z and replace that with D, and now it only captures me the Z, the C, the A, and the D. It's not capturing me the M's, the O's, or the N, and the R, and all that, because I have it between A and D. Now, I'll put that back to Z, and down here I'll go, because I'm copying this now, I'm going to go A to Z again. And it's now captured me all of it. Alright, so if I move that back to B, it still doesn't capture the C's, the capital C's. But if I was to go A to C, it now captures all of it. Okay? Okay. Alright, my voice is a little dry now. Alright, so now to move into how we're going to make this work for us. And that involves this right here. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head back into RPG Maker, and I'm going to make a test string inside of our enemy classes, one of our enemy units. And what this is going to do is, whenever we encounter a battle with an enemy, we're going to look at their note tag, and we're going to say, does this enemy want to use a different battle theme than what we are currently using? And if so, change the battle theme. Alright? So let's do that. We're going to go back into scripting now. Going to open this up. Oh, nope, not that one. Database. Going to head over to enemies. I'm not sure why that's a rate. That is a rat. Alright, we'll use the rate. What we're going to do here is, this is what I was saying before about identifiers. Now, in note tags themselves, you have to rely on the fact that a lot of scripters use note tags, and you only want your note tag to be matched inside of a string, inside of a regular expression. Because if it matches any other scripter's note tags, and the user changes has values in that note tag for their note tag, and your regular expression tries to match that, that's going to be a problem. This is the reason why your string, your tag, test string, must have an identifier. So I'm going to make one now. Alright, so I'm going to have battle theme. And I'm going to have a colon. And over here I'm going to put in the battle theme that I want to have play when I'm fighting this enemy. So I think I'll use battle 3. Close. Now, learning everything that we've done so far, put your test string here. This is what we want to match now. So get rid of all that. Here's how we want it. Because we are trying to match all of this here, we need to have this. You must have that. If you do not have this inside your note tag, it will not capture it. And this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Sorry, I'll actually show that in a moment. Alright, we'll move on. So we'll move on for now, and I'll show you that in a second. Alright, over here is, you don't necessarily need to force your user to use a space. This is why if you go \s, which is the space, and then put in an asterisk, that means they don't have to have a space. So if I was to go here, put that back, it still captures all of it. Alright, but if I don't, no matches. Okay, so asterisk, it now captures battle 3, and I can space it out as much as I want, and it still captures all of it. Alright, okay, so now I want it to capture battle 3. Now here's what you want to, this is what the parentheses is for. You want to go parenthesis, which is bracket, then you want to go dot, because that is any single character, or you can put in W if you want, that works too. So you can put in W, we'll put in W. Unmatched parentheses means I haven't closed it yet, so I'm going to close it. It now captures me the B, but it doesn't capture me everything I want. So what do? I put in plus. Alright, and it has captured all of it. It's captured everything inside this. So this is what's going to happen when this regular expression runs on this test string. It's going to capture battle 3 as a string. Alright, and now close. Alright, now you may be wondering, what is this stuff over here? Alright, this is what these are. They are options. These are what you have available to you. Case insensitive. Now, case insensitive means I don't need to have it exactly as a battle theme, like written like this. If I put I here, sorry, I'll show you what that means now. If I go T, no matches, because remember, right here it should be battle theme as a capital T. But if I was to put in I, it now matches that because it's not case sensitive anymore. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to put that back to where it was. So I means you're going to make your test string doesn't have to be case sensitive. Your regular expression can be if you wanted to, but generally I've never used any case sensitive regular expressions. So yeah. Okay, and now you have make dot match new lines. Now that's not necessarily going to work for what we're doing now. I think in the future I might show what that means. Alright, actually I'll show it now. Alright, here we'll go in, put a space there. No matches now. Because what you've done now is you've done this. You've put in / new line, because that is what the note tag, that's what the note box here does. If you manage to somehow gibberish this over to here, it now moves this onto a new line. Okay? And that means, you know, you can't capture it now because it's on a new line and your thing wasn't designed for that. Okay? So if it's on a new line, which I gotta get rid of the \n, if it's on a new line, you can't capture it now. So if I was to put in M here, and I was to change this to a dot, it has now captured that stuff. It has captured all of it. Alright? Not necessarily the way we wanted it to capture it, but it has captured it. And you can fix that by using the gsub function in Ruby. Gsub and get rid of the \n and replacing it with nothing. You can use that so you can still use the im if you want to. The m function to get. Hopefully I'm making sense here, because you don't necessarily need to worry about this so much. Your string can still capture new line stuff if you tell it to. Otherwise, try to keep your regular expressions fitting on. Try to keep your strings fitting on one line. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to W like we had it before, and you need to go back on here. All right. So now it has captured us battle 3. And the reason why we have this here is because we're trying to close this off. So if I didn't have that there, alright, it would still capture you battle 3, but it's not really precise, and it doesn't capture the entire string that you're trying to make it capture. Okay? Alright. So there we go. We have now got our regular expression, and we can now put this inside of our Maker, RPG Maker, to capture the regular expression. So let's grab it. Alright, actually I'm going to leave there for a second. I have to set this up. So I have battle theme, battle 3 here. I need to go into my scene battle. Scene battle, where are you? There you are. Need to find where, because I don't really remember, I need to find where it's actually starting the battle theme. So I would assume that'd be in create or start somewhere. Where is start? There you are. Create. Okay. I think the battle theme itself is done in Battle Manager, so I'm going to check that up. Alright, play battle theme. Right, that's cool. Let's copy that. We're going to overwrite this just for now. Don't. Oh, yeah, you can actually overwrite Battle BGM. But try not to overwrite, you know, stuff you don't need to. Okay? So this is what happens when you enter a battle. It plays the plays the current battle BGM. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the troops. Now I need to search that up. So I'm not really sure where. I think it's game_troop. Yes, awesome. All right, game_troop. No, oh maybe. So copy that. Game_troop. Game_troop. No, and I need to know where that's used. Alright, I need to find out where. Yep, game troop. Okay. Oh, right, I remember now. Game troop is actually the equivalent of game_party, but for enemies instead. So in here, I'm going to go game. Oh no, I copied it. I'm going to go game_troops. It is troops, right? Don't really remember. Nope, okay, it's game_troop. Right. Yep, game_troop. Dot members. Okay. Dot each. Alright. Do. And now it's going to get me the actual member. Or, you know, enemy. Enemy. Alright, I'm gonna put this up here. Alright, so it's gonna play the default battle BGM, and then after it starts playing that, I'm gonna have it loop through all the enemies and search up their no tag. Alright, so game_troop members, that actually gets you game_enemies. So game_enemies here, and that should, yep, sweet, it has an enemy ID we can use. So if I go back down here and I go enemy, I then go RPG. Sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. I'm then going to go data_enemies / array bracket enemy, which is defined here, dot enemy_ID. Now here's where the regular expression comes in. You then go .note, because we are accessing the data for that enemy, which, as I said in the last tutorial, is defined in here, because that's where note tags lie, in the data place. So data_enemies, that's where your note tag is for enemies. You then, because like I said, it has to be accessed like it is an array, you then go on enemy ID, because that will get you the ID of that enemy in the array. So enemy ID dot note. Now here's how you input a regular expression inside of a note box. You then just go right here in array bracket. Alright. Now /im. Alright. The reason why is because right here it has a slash, and it doesn't have it here obviously, but if you want to access the slash, if you want to access the regular expression, you need to have the / at the start of the regular expression, and if you want to, and then at the end of it, you need to have the / again for the end of it. And then after that, if you want to input any options, which we'll define down here, you then have to put that after the regular expression, the / for that one, /, which since we have I have inputted that. So that's our regular expression, and that's in array brackets. Now you may be wondering to yourself, how did we actually access the value that came with the \w now that we've, you know, got the string and all this stuff? Well, as it turns out, when you access a regular expression this way, Ruby has global variables which input the data for these values that it captures inside of the string. So what you do is this: you go if global variable 1 and global variable 1 is not equal to that. Alright, now what we're doing here is we're going if global variable 1 is not equal to nil. Alright, so if it's not equal to nil, which means it has been defined, and global variable 1 is not equal to, you know, an empty string. Now the reason why we say that is because you don't actually need to have anything here. If I was just to go nothing, sorry, if it tries to go through this string and it doesn't find anything, if it doesn't find anything, it will give you an empty string value. That is the way it works. It will give you an empty string value. So if it's empty, that means it didn't find anything. Alright? So 1 is saying if we're not nil, and this one's saying if we're not empty. You need to have both of them. And if you're not empty, you then go RPG BGM.new, alright, and you play the sound itself. So the sound is obviously 1, because that's going to equal to battle 3, 1, and then we just go 100, 100, dot play. Alright? Okay, now I need to have 2 battles up here. I'm going to have the first one, you know, that. First one's going to be battle with a slime. Yep, just a slime, and I can continue and escape when I'm losing, and yada yada yada. And the second one over here is going to be with a rate. Don't know why they named it that. And you can step. Okay, and this one's going to be with a rate. Alright. Now, if everything went according to plan, this should work. Alright, so first of all, the slime. Alright, now the rate. Alright, there you go. Again. Ah, I couldn't escape. Let me escape, damn it. Alright, so that has captured battle 3. If I go back here now, play again, back to battle 1. Alright, close it. Now go back over here. No, sorry, not here. Go back into the database. It will change this to now, instead of battle 3, battle 9. Alright, talk to the right again. Rate, I mean. There you go. Battle 9. So again, just to prove it one more time, I'm then going to go back into the database and I'm going to have it battle 10, which does not exist, and I will get an error for that. Battle 10. Go play it now. Couldn't find battle 10. And you can hear battle 1 in the background because, remember the way we set up the code is, it plays the original battle theme, and then it searches up for the customized one we're currently trying to access. Okay? So, when it errored, because it couldn't find this, you could still hear this one playing. Alright? Okay, now, there is one more thing I want to do before I end this tutorial, and that is to go back into here, and I'm going to have values, so I can change the actual volume and the pitch, but I don't have to have them. Alright, so the pitch is going to be 80. Alright, so I'm going to copy this now, and I'm going to go back into my Rubula, so paste it here. Alright, no matches because obviously we haven't hit that part, so if I get rid of that, it captures the battle 3. Alright, so now, alright, now we have to capture this, which is the comma. So the way I've always done it is you don't have to have a comma. If I put a comma there, it still doesn't match because I have that blocked. Alright, it captures the comma, but I don't need to have it. So if I was to have that there and I got rid of the comma that's in here, it still captures it just fine. Alright, and again, the space. I don't need to have a space, so I put an asterisk there, which means I don't have to have it, but if I have one, it's fine. Alright, and now we want to capture the 100 that's there. So how do we do that? The same way we've done it with the string. We now have \d, because we now want to capture the digits, remember? Any digit. And because that right now is only going to capture 1, so we need to have in plus. So now we have down here, it is now going to match 100. It's now going to find us 100. And then we do the exact same again. We just pretty much copy this. And there you go. It's now captured as 80. Close. Alright. So if I grab that, now go back into my scripting here. So I now have 180. That's just fine. If I go here and in my regular expression, right here, if I go do that, now what happens is, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back. Oh no, sorry, put it back there. I'm then going to go and global variable 2, and global variable 2 is not equal to empty, and global variable 3, and global variable 3 is not equal to empty. So again, as we're doing, We're checking to make sure global variable 2 isn't empty because of this bracket that's here, this is what's going to be captured in global variable number 2. And because we have another bracket after that, another capture brackets after that, that's going to go into global variable 3. Like I said, if it doesn't find anything inside these brackets, it will give you an empty value. That's the reason why we go if it's not empty. And if it exists, for that matter. Alright, you now go to. Now herein lies the problem. You want to put in a digit or a number for the second parameter for RPG BGM.new, right? Now, when it comes with regular expression, what it does is it doesn't actually return this as a number. This actually comes back as a string. So right now, this is being written as 100. That's what global variable 2 is right now as it returns. To get that to be an actual number, you have to go dot 2 underscore I. Okay? Same thing for this. Global variable 3, that is, dot 2 underscore I. Alright, so now let's play it. New game. Talk to the lady. Oh, silly me, I forgot to change that back to an actual sound. So go back to, go to 2. Talk to the little girl again. Hello? So as you can see, the volume is still 100 and the pitch has lowered down to 80. So again, I'll go back into the RATS database here and I'll change this to 90 now, and I'll lower the volume to about 70 should be noticeable. Okay, and I'll run it. Talk to the little girl. So it has definitely lowered the volume, you can hear that now, and the pitch has risen somewhat. Alright, so there you go, that is how you do regular expressions. Now, as I was saying before about identifiers, if you don't have this, it will not match. So if I get rid of that, and just have battle 2 and 70 and 90, it now will not capture that string. There you go. Back to the normal battle thing. Why do I keep opening up scripts? Damn it. Nope. Okay. Alright. So the reason why I say this is important is because, again, you are not the only scripter in the world. Any other scripter could have their own script which accesses note tags for enemies. And they too will have an identifier for their own script. And this is the reason why you need identifiers for yours. Because as I was going into earlier, the way regular expression works is it will constantly look for stuff to capture. Constantly. So if I was to have two of these, and I grab this and I go back over here, alright, it has captured the first and it has captured the second. Alright, yeah, just get 100. There you go. So it has captured both both lines of regular expression I have put inside of this test string. And therein lies the problem right here, because this would be fine for our script because it doesn't really bother us. But if I was to get rid of the testing portion of this script, it now captures the battle 2 for both of these. Now just imagine if there was another script out there and they had something different for enemies, like, you know, enemy death sound, death SE, and it has bytes as theirs. Your regular expression will capture that one as well, because it still can find that. It still looks at that and says, yeah, that's valid. And that's the problem. You need to have an identifier for that specific reason, because if your script doesn't, it can easily capture a note tag meant for another script, and your script will be ruined. That's the reason why you need identifiers. As long as you have an identifier, you should be okay. Make sure that the person using your script knows about this though. You can't just say go into your node tag and type in yada 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 yada. Say it must have this identifier and it must contain these values. Okay. Now, as it turns out, with my actual actor battle voices script, battle voices for expression I showed in the last tutorial, you don't actually need to have you don't actually need to enter values for some portions of that script, and I'll show you what I mean. I should go open up. That's the one. I'll open it up and I'll go into my voices section. So where is my voices? There you are. Alright, so here's where I've told you to enter the node tags. So you can either enter actor voice, which is ID and the voice file name, or you can enter actor voice ID, voice file name, volume, pitch, wait frames. You actually don't need to enter all of these. If you enter these two, the script will work just fine. If you enter these three right here, the script will work just fine. If you enter these four, the script will work just fine. So really, the way to do that is quite simple. It has to do with the asterisk I showed you earlier. So if I go down here, where was my note tag? I don't remember. There it is. Okay, go back into my ruler here, put it there. Get rid of that. Alright, obviously there's no matches so far because I haven't actually got any active voice stuff here, and I've got to change that back to 1 because that doesn't work in Rubula. Okay, back into my project 1 here. If I go OK and go into my skills, there should be one that has voice, I think. Nope, that wasn't that one. Huh. Alright, I don't have one, but we'll pretend I do, and I'm just gonna make one for Rubula right now. And that's going to be actor voices, actor voice, colon. Now, as I've done here, you don't need to have a space if you don't want one, but I like to have a space. 1. Alright, again, with the comma here, I don't need to have one because I have the asterisk there. But I like to have one, so I'm going to put one there. As it turns out, again, with the space, I don't need to have the space there, but I want one, so I'm going to have one there. Now, for my own stuff, I like to put in quotation marks to signify this is a string. Quotation mark. And now I'm going to put in name. The name's going to be, sorry, the voice file name. This one I'm just going to have attack. And as you can see now, it has captured it. Okay. Now here's what I was talking about before with checking to make sure your things are not empty. So back to scripting. Here, open this up. Like I've done here with the global variable 1, it's not equal to empty. Because if it is equal to empty, then this value is going to be nothing, and So with my active voice script, I've done it so you have to have the first two values need to be entered, but you don't need to enter stuff after that. And the way I've done that is very simple. I have just right here done asterisks after the capture stuff, so you don't need to have it in there at all. But if you do, it will be captured. All right, and that's how you make it make empty parameters, empty regular expression capture stuff thingies. I don't really know how to call this properly. But I'm hoping that makes sense. So the asterisk is really important for you, and I don't think I need that actually. No, I don't. Not sure why I put that in. Alright. So, that's really all there is to regular expression. It's easy to use after you've used it long enough, and you eventually understand all of it. See, so at the start of this tutorial, like I showed this in the past tutorial, it might have seemed very difficult for you, and you might have gone, what is all this? I don't understand. Hopefully now, after I've explained this for about 50 minutes, it seems a lot less complicated. It's very straightforward. So I just have here you know, the quotation marks, so it needs to be there. Yeah, it's pretty easy. The I am stock, which we used in the voice expression we made before, I meaning it doesn't have to be case sensitive, meaning I can have active voices here and it still works just fine because it can still capture that because it's not case sensitive. The M meaning it can go into a new line if it goes too far, which isn't really a problem in this box here, but it might be a problem in the RPG Maker note tag box. Okay, so really that's all there is to regular expression, and there is one more thing I want to call out to you before I finish this tutorial, and that is, if you go down here, you will notice that this fellow has a donate via PayPal option. Now, rule of thumb is, if you're using something made by someone else to help you get better at programming, you know, send them some money. They've donated their time to help you out, and yeah, they've donated their time to help you out, and you can help them out. You can help them out back by sending them some donations to help them get food on their table. Okay, so he has a donate via PayPal here, and I have thrown him some money before. So if you really do find Rubler to help you out a lot with your regular expressions, please send this guy some money. You know, this guy meaning Michael Lovett, because this is helping you out, and you can help him out back by sending him some money, which he either needs or doesn't. I don't actually know this guy personally. I'm just saying, if it helps you out, you know, help him out back. Alright, so that's all there is for this tutorial. You can use this script freely if you want to. I'm not going to post it up because I have no need to, because this is a script I think was already done by Snow. Alright, and really that's all there is to regular expressions as far as you needing to know about RPG Maker is concerned. Yeah, so for every single one of those brackets that I had here, you know, those brackets meaning the capture things, it then goes up one step in the actual global variable tree thing I was talking about. So if I as you saw with my active voice script, active battle voices stuff, I had 4 capture points. So I essentially had up to 4 global variables. But if I had more than that, it would then go global variable 5, and then 6, and then 7, and then 8, until I finished the string. Okay? So, as far as I'm aware, I think that's all you really need to know about regular expressions. And until the next tutorial, stay safe.